The Nigerian Senate has passed a bill amending the criminal code, changing the jail term for kidnapping from 10 years to life imprisonment. The bill read for the third time on Tuesday and also seeks to remove gender restrictions on the issue of rape and recognize males as rape victims. 2, another provision of the bill is to remove the statute of limitation, which means that there will be no time limit from when a rape matter can be decided. For a greater insight on this and other decisions of the Senate regarding sexual offenders, we'll now be joined from a Rise Abuja studio by Esther Uzoma, lawyer, gender and civil rights advocate. Welcome to the program. But I want to talk about something more pressing this morning, Esther, if you'll oblige me. I want to talk about Joy Nunieh. I mean, we've been on this matter for quite a week now, and we just had the revelation this morning that from 4 a.m. we've got police officials, police officers in that house, and now they've made entry into the house. And it's as a result of this ongoing Niger Delta issue, this back and forth going on. As an advocate for women, gender rights advocates, what's your take on what is happening, Esther?
Thank you very much, Ruben.
Good morning.
Number one, yes, good morning. Any attempt to embarrass, any attempt to intimidate, any attempt to gag a Nigerian woman or indeed any citizen of this country is despicable. All right? So, if Joy Nunieh is scheduled to appear before the House this morning, and the Nigerian police, has surrounded her house and indeed made entry therein, it is worrisome because the Nigerian Senate is also, exercising their constitutional duty of inquest into ongoing affairs in NDDC. As such, perhaps this will appear there's a clash of constitutional functions. The Nigerian police is also well within their rights to arrest, to investigate anybody, any citizen who they feel is in breach of the law or about to breach the law. Therefore, what we have on our hands is the inquest by the National Assembly and the attempt, or rather the arrest, or rather the incursion by the Nigerian police. And so we see that there are two conflicting, constitutional agencies of state, conflicting agencies of state carrying out their constitutional duties in collision with each other. That is deplorable. And so, if anybody was looking for a sign that the agencies of state, as we see them today, function at cross purposes, this is prima facie classic example that they function at cross purposes. Perhaps they should be aware that Joy is scheduled to appear before the House of Reps. And then today, the Nigerian police, all right, has entered her apartment. She is built to perform a national function today.
Well, I mean, Esther.
It is despicable. It is vulgar. Yes.
Esther, well, I mean, you've made the point, and it's an excellent point about the conflict between agencies and departments of government. But what kind of protection is available to Joy Nunieh? Because even as we're discussing now, we understand that the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, has gone to Joy Nunieh's house, and that he's there. Does the governor, does he have any rights to offer any kind of protection? What kind of advice will you be giving both Joy Nunieh and the governor at this particular time? Perhaps the governor has arrived at the house so that if they want to arrest Joy Nunieh, then he should be arrested along with her, perhaps.
Oh, please. I hope they do not make a caricature of this process. Let them not make a caricature of this process. Dear Governor Wike, do sit in the government house. How many people, how many citizens that has the Nigerian police attempted to arrest and you did not leave government house? No, 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 no. Please, please, please. Do not make a caricature of this process. Joy's incident is a platform for action. Do not politicize it. Do not politicize it. The Nigerian police, they don't kill. Every day, they arrest common citizens. Nobody comes. Every day, citizens die. I appreciate your enthusiasm, Mr. Governor. Please, I beg you, take a back seat. If the Nigerian police is inviting Joy Nunieh, let her go and answer. Because if she answers, we will now find out why she was invited or why she's been invited in the first place. Mr. Governor, with every sense of responsibility, I beg you, please leave that house. Let the law, 2 wrongs cannot make a right. This is not a call to civil war or civil disobedience. Let Joy go and answer the police, because as it is now, nobody knows why the police is answering her, is inviting her. Nobody knows why the police has invaded her premises. And we need to know. Why? Because the Nigerian police, like I said earlier, they are also exercising a constitutional function. Constitutional. Above all, they have the duty to maintain the peace. And so let us find out what is really going on. Where is this coming from? All right? We need to find out and follow it properly. The case of Joy Nunieh is a platform for action. It's bigger than, the braggart. It's bigger than that. And we will take it accordingly. And so we will not, I speak for also my sisters. I speak for every activist spread across. The case of Joy Nunieh is a platform for action. Mr. Governor, vacate that house if you are there. This is not showman show. We will follow it through. We will escort Joy Nunieh to the Nigerian police. We will find out why they are inviting her, particularly at this time. And above all, I want to, humbly tell the Nigerian police that they owe a duty, and the Inspector General of Police knows they should protect Joy Nunieh. So between the police, the National Assembly, and Nyesom Wike, they should maintain the peace. Nobody should rock this boat.
Well, in all of this, the main issue seems to have been relegated when it comes to the Niger Delta Development Commission. Let me ask you, what exactly do you think is responsible for so much controversy around this commission, regardless of the administration in power?
Thank you very much. Well, number one thing that is responsible for all this commotion is that we have an interim management committee that has decided for once to conduct a forensic audit. People, let's keep our eyes on the ball. This committee says, listen, we are going to conduct a forensic audit. We are going to see how the affairs of Niger Delta has been managed. And because of that singular reason, do you know what is forensic audit? How far it will go? Suddenly, there's commotion. Suddenly, there's volcano. Let me tell you, that forensic audit must be conducted. We will know whose off is God. All right? Because there are persons who have made the Niger Delta their particular interest. This is their house. Their personal warehouses is the warehouse of the commission. No. And these are private citizens. So if you ask me, the only reason we are having all this brouhaha is because of the quest for a forensic audit. And I call on Nigerians to ensure.
But even, sorry to interrupt you, because when we spoke to Joy Nunieh today, we've been speaking to her, but even this morning she reiterated that there's no forensic audits going on anywhere. Nobody should be deceived. So has the purpose of the IMC, which the president set up, not been defeated?
Well, as far as I know, from what I have read in the papers, you see, we live in a country where whenever the Nigerian citizen want to be deceived, what they would do is to bring up one person, bring up a group of persons and say, hey, you are mad, you did this, you did this. Because they know how bad it is in this country. Whenever you say, give a dog a bad name, everybody will say, kill, kill, kill. At the point, I have followed these events from the media. At the point this committee said they were going to conduct a forensic audit, at that point, all hell was let loose. Why should we not audit the Niger Delta Commission? Look at the amount of money that the federal government, votes for this Niger Delta. And yet, when you go to the slums of Bayelsa, visit the ghettos of Port Harcourt, go to the unlooked places in Delta State and rivers, you will find out that it appears not. What I'm saying is that federal government gives a special money. And yet, I have worked extensively in this region. That is why I speak. And so, this forensic audit must be conducted. From there, we will know who is a thief. We will know who is a robber. There are people who are entrenched in Niger Delta Commission, and the word is entrenched. They were there when every crime was committed. Why will not see what they are doing, what they have done? So let's keep our eyes on the ball. We will not be deceived. Today, celebrate somebody in the media. No, let us unearth the thieves in Niger Delta. We will unearth them and shame them. Their places is in the Nigerian prisons.
As a gender and civil rights advocate, I'm sure this will interest you. While we have Joy Nunieh here, she also talked about sexual harassment. This is very, very serious in the mix of things. She talked about sexual harassment. I mean, what's your take on this? You were supposed to talk about the fact that they're changing or they want to improve on the laws as regards, sexual misdemeanor and the likes. That was your initial topic this morning, increasing statute of limitations and the likes and things like that. But we're hearing sexual harassment. In fact, let me quote Dr. Abati. Dr. Abati said that day, would you call it rape? And she said, no. Sexual harassment sounds better. What's your take on this?
All right. So, Joy Nunieh is an empowered woman by every sense of the word. She is well educated and empowered. And so she was careful to state the facts as they occurred, perhaps. So we have heard from her about sexual harassment. All right? We have heard from her. We have not heard from the minister. Okay? However, generally speaking, sexual
No, we've heard from the minister. He denied it. The minister denied it. He released a statement yesterday. He said he's a champion for women and the girl child and children out there. He denied it flat out. I didn't do it. That's what the minister said.
He loves his wife.
He loves his wife. I didn't do it. That's what the minister said. So we've heard from the minister.
And he has appointed women.
Anyway, please carry on next time.
All right. Thank you very much for the thank you for the updates. And so, what we do have now is on a scale, imagine, and let's put it on an imaginary scale. Joy said, I was sexually harassed. And the Honorable Minister said, I did not harass you. All right? In between these two statements, it is left, as we are now in the public court, let the public judge. But eventually, when it comes to a court of law, and you subject it to very strict, rigorous evaluation of evidence, the question will be asked, beyond your statements, what do you have to establish these allegations? What? My sympathies are with Joy. But in all my 20 years, about 20 years of law practice, timeless reportage of events like this is always a factor. if you go to court, for instance, in an imaginary manner, I'm sure that the counsel, for the Honorable Minister will perhaps draw attention that there's a motive at this point in time. But that is not to say that Joy perhaps was not, harassed. Okay? But in between these two conflicting statements, in between them, what else do you have besides the statement to establish? It is necessary that we fight all forms of gender-based violence in the workplace, at home. But as we fight them, it is also very necessary. Like we say in law, it is better for 99 guilty persons to go free than for one innocent man or one innocent person to be sent to jail.
Well, Esther,
and so we look at these issues critically. Yes. Esther,
sorry to interrupt you. You said Governor Wike should leave Joy Nunieh's house. Well, he has left, and we understand that he took Joy out of the house, and the two of them are on their way to a government house. So that's the latest report from the developing saga in Rivers State with regard to the former managing director of the NDDC, Dr. Joy Nunieh. Now, but I mean, we've dwelt on this subject of the NDDC.
No, can I say something on that?
Okay, you want to respond to that, okay?
Can I say something on that? As a right, I celebrate the courage of Wike, the strong man of Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Let me tell you what happens. When we have men who are stronger than our institutions, it doesn't help the ordinary man. When we have men who are stronger, let me ask you now, that vulnerable citizen in Rivers State, when the police comes to carry him, will the governor appear? We do not, much as Joy is my sister, but when we have men who defy our institutions, they are the ones who do, what do they do? They're the ones who cripple the system. So there it is Joy, an MD, former MD of NDDC. What about the orange seller? Governor, will you come and take that person to the government house? What about the vulnerable man? What will you do? So it is better our institutions are stronger than persons. Okay. We do not want actors.
Esther.
We do not want, yes.
Esther, talking about institutions, we'd like to take your comments on what has been happening at the EFCC with regard to the suspended chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Magu, and the subsequent suspension of 12 executive directors of that anti-corruption agency. What are your thoughts? I don't need to give you the details. I'm sure you are fully seized of the matter.
That's right. So, a wind is blowing. You see, dear Magu, if you are listening to this, if you are watching us on, on the morning show, on the very, very excellent, prestigious celebrity studio, of Arise TV, I want to talk to you straight up. I felt bad that your constitutional rights were violated when you were put in custody more than 48 hours. Now you know how it feels. All right? However, just know one thing. Your masters no longer find pleasure in you. Your sacrifices, your oblations no longer ascend to them as a sweet-smelling favor. They are done with you. And so, your recourse right now is the law. The same law. The same law that when you were in office, perhaps you did not fully embrace. That law, in that law right now, lies your salvation. And so this is a call to every Nigerian citizen. We must uphold the laws that we have given to ourselves. It doesn't matter whether you are in a position of power today or not. That law, that is our common denominator. We must uphold the law that we have given unto ourselves. We must not, because eventually, when the chiefs are down, when actions are called to question, it is only in the law that we have salvation. All right? I welcome the attempt by the Nigerian states, particularly by this administration, to purge itself of the excesses of its appointees. But let the law, can we just obey the laws of the land, whether we are in power or not? Let us protect Mother Nigeria. Yes.
Well, you cannot be more correct. Let me borrow that phrase from a popular professor. Very valid point you've made this morning, but you seem encouraged by what we have seen in the case of Ibrahim Magu. But what does it portend for the fight against corruption? Is this a boost? Does it in any way reinforce confidence that this administration has got all it takes to fight corruption?
Well, you know, because at each point in time, Mr. President will say, I'm not aware. Fighting corruption, is it not Ganduje that is built to be in Edo State? Come on. Gandola. There's one man called Gandola in Kano State. The one that everybody saw putting money like a common criminal in his abada.
The veracity of that video cannot be authenticated.
But they went to court, and the court, you know, I think the case was thrown out. Yes.
They're still allegations.
They're just allegations.
But continue with your point.
And you calling him Gandola might be slander.
Defamatory.
Defamatory slander. So let's be careful here.
If they are just allegations, okay, if they are just allegations, what we have against Magu are also allegations.
Yes.
What we have against the Minister for Niger Delta are also allegations. Yes. What we have against the Interim Management Committee, let me tell you, perception is reality. Perception, yeah? Because people interact with the world based on how they perceive it.
No, but in law, perception is not reality.
Is reality.
The law will deal with evidence.
No. How we even interact with the law is based on our perception. Is it not because, let us take a classic example of it. You know how Boko Haram started? They perceived that the Nigerian state is against them. It is our perception that determines our interaction with anything on earth. So, let me go back to the question, the fight against corruption. 365 soldiers just left the Nigerian army, and it's not making headlines. Some Boko Haram, captives, have been forgiven their sins. They said, listen, go and sin no more. You are now reinstated. As we speak, a soldier who spoke out about his disappointment is facing criminal trial. So what exactly is corruption? Our sons are dying. You send them to the front lines to defend the integrity of Nigeria, and when they capture Boko Haram, what do? You say your sins are forgiven. Go and sin no more. And I don't understand. The Nigerian state, where we are now is that outlaws, people who exist outside the fringes of the law, are consistently making demands from the Nigerian state, and the Nigerian state is yielding to the demands of who? Outlaws. So what is the point now? Why are our men dying? Why are our sons dying? Why are our brothers dying in the front? What is the whole point? So I don't know what then is corruption and corrupt practices. The fight, let me tell you, Magu, as a classic example, perhaps this is the biggest fish they have caught. The only reason they brought in Magu is that he's not a governor. He doesn't have immunity. Otherwise, he would have also done what he would have ridden it until this administration is over. He no longer pleases his masters. Because even now, as we speak, there are people in this executive, or rather, who appointees of this present administration, who have serious brushes with the law, carrying question marks. People will sit and say, is it not these people that this is? But they are the ones riding over us. So please. I beg your pardon.
Thank you very much.
In the fight of corruption.
Thank you very much, Esther Uzoma, lawyer and gender and civil rights advocate.